right, what's up, good people? My name is Kashaya, and today I wanted to come and talk about hard lessons, stronger spirit. I'm going to be sharing a part of my testimony, not all of it, just some of it. But I think this is a great topic today because today I learned a very hard lesson, but one that I know is going to build me to be stronger. There are a mix of emotions that I have right now, and I'm going to allow them to process, but I'm going to have a very vulnerable moment with you all right now. So, first and foremost, my name is Kashaya. I'm the host of L's to Elevation. This page was established and it was created because at the time my life was dealing with all of these things. There was this male that I had dated for almost 2 years, and our relationship was always up and down, up and down, up and down. The guy was always doing stuff, whether it was cheating or different things like that, and then his excuse would be something stupid, right? He didn't have his father as an example to teach him how to be a man, although he had a male figure in his life. So to me that was a stupid reason, because there was a male figure in his life. So the relationship went forth, and learned a lot of things, right? He cheated during our breaks. I would talk to other people, blah, 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 blah. Eventually, it got to the point where I was done with the relationship. There was too much that had taken place. There was no point in continuing the relationship. It wasn't going anywhere. He had cheated, and because of his cheating, there was something that transpired from it, and I was just finished. I was done. And so I moved on with my life. At the end of our relationship, he started to cyber stalk me. His cyber stalking, he hacked my Chromebook. He would hack into the device and move different things, just all types of things. He would hack into my routers. He would do all of these different things. So this went on for quite some time. It is still going on, and I'm still having to deal with it. So eventually, at one of the workplaces that I worked, he had popped up there. So one of the managers that was there had told me that I should, move forward with trying to take legal calls. That is what I did. And so in doing so, this is where the hard lesson came from, right? Outside of everything else that I've learned over these 3.5 years, today was a very hard lesson for me. Yesterday, I spent quite a bit of time just going through old photos, emails, all types of different things, because I was trying to acquire the information or evidence that I needed for my case. And in doing so, he hacked me out of my email. I know it was him because he changed the email to an old email that I have deleted over what, it's been 3.5 years. It's been deleted over 3 years now. And so I do not have access to that particular email. And speaking with someone today who was supposed to be speaking or representing for me, they sabotage the case. They can deny it. They can feel however they want to feel about it. I don't care. They sabotage the case. And they sabotage the case because in mid conversation, in talking to me about the different things, they shared our conversation prior to our conversation even being finished. Okay? They shared our conversation prior to our conversation even being finished. The beautiful thing about my relationship with God, right, is that I prayed all throughout this entire process. And God spoke to me in the process of sitting in the courtroom. And he explained to me that the things that I was going to go through, they weren't going to feel comfortable. And this does not feel comfortable. Um, but that it was going to grow me, right? And so, um, aspiring greatness, I am hacked. I'm hacked. I'm cyber stalked. Um, but anywho, so the case ended up being dismissed. Okay, the case is being dismissed because of the sabotage from the person that was supposed to be representing me. Thanks to God, um, I'll answer your questions at the end. You can keep putting them in there if you would like to, but I'll get to them once I finish sharing my story, just so I don't get sidetracked. But the person sabotaged the case, and so the case got dismissed. In my conversation with God, God explained to me that the things were not going to feel great, but that they were going to grow me. So, do I feel a way about the situation? Absolutely. I absolutely feel a way. But at the end of the day, I know all of this is going to grow me. There are a mix of feelings that I have right now because um it was literally right there. Like everything was literally right there. I'm not going to argue or debate whether or not I am hacked or stalked because there has been too much evidence from reactions from people I've never met in my entire life. I probably will never meet in my entire life. And they have full blown access to my life in every way possible. The fact that I had to sit yesterday and go through just all of the things, what really hit me is realizing that it's going on 4 years. 4 years since I have been dealing with the magnitude of what cyber stalking is. And to get to the place where I asked for help, I took the initiative to get help. And some man literally sabotaged the case, try to pretend like it was something minor because he doesn't have to deal with the cyber stalking, because he does not have to have his entire life monitored. He doesn't have to have weird men in tight suits and everything else have comments concerning your life indirectly, like a female. Or people at everywhere I go, there's people who are aware of my personal information because of an individual I dated. I've done nothing to this individual. Nothing to this individual. I could care less what's going on in their life because when I finish a thing, I'm finished with the thing. I don't care. This person has cared so much about my life that they continue to stalk and follow and harass and everything else. And I'm not saying literally follow me. I'm saying they are following me through their access and use of technology. This person is a cyber security person. He started off in IT and all of these different things. He has the background to be able to do the things that I'm having to live through. And today, all of it was dismissed because of the quote unquote person that was supposed to represent me. I'm sharing this because it is my truth. I'm not um, angry. I am upset. I am upset because the person did not even allow us to finish our full conversation prior to them sharing information with the opposing attorney, right? They shared information with them that we weren't even finished having a conversation about. I had to look this person in the face and tell them to their face that they sabotaged the case. They wanted to deny it, but they sabotaged the case because we were not finished with our conversation, and they shared information that we hadn't even come to a conclusion on what the individual had shared with me, and they took their time on their break to go and talk to the other attorney. So I have been cyber stalked now for almost 4 years. It's 3.5 years. I don't have any privacy on my phone. Aspiring Greatness, he hacked my router password long ago. I've had many phones, iPhones, Androids, a flip phone. All of these things have been hacked, are hacked. I don't have any type of process. I mean, excuse me, not process. I don't have any type of privacy. I have no privacy. When we were dating, he had some white cord that he connected up to my car on his phone. I don't know what he did. I have no privacy. And I have carried this burden to the best of my ability because I know at the end of the day, God is going to get the glory out of it. And I still firmly believe it. But today, this was a hard lesson for me because it takes so much for me just to ask for help. It takes so much for me to ask for help. Like, even when it came for me to file this incident, right? To report this incident, it took a lot out of me, right? It took a lot for someone to uh encourage me to even fight for myself in that way. I was like, nah, eventually he'll stop. He has not stopped. He has not stopped. And I don't think he intends to stop because I think he feels like eventually he'll be able to break me. I can tell you right now, you won't. You won't. You won't. I'm the type of person where I will suffer through something by myself if I know it'll only be something that I have to carry. This situation has not been that. Even with me trying to suffer through this thing by myself, he's hacked my family's devices. And even with me separating myself from them in an attempt to cover or protect them, my relationship with them is not even the same. It's not even the same. It don't even feel the same. It don't feel the same at all. People have projected, oh, you're angry or you're mad, you're this and you're that. I have had so many people who I don't even know project all of who they want me to be, who they want me to appear as, onto me simply because they want to believe the image that this person has established or created for me. And that's cool. I don't live for man's approval of me, right? Their opinion of me is not going to make or break me. They're not going to tell me uh they can't tell me anything about my weight. They you really can't tell me nothing. And it's not because I'm not the type of person where I don't mind criticism, right? Constructive criticism. I'm the type of person where I mind direct constructive criticism. So many people have so much to say, but they couldn't walk a mile in my shoes. They couldn't walk a mile in it. And when I say stuff like that, people want to assume that I'm not being humble. No, I'm being truthful. You couldn't do this. And you couldn't do it with the same heart, with the same care, with the same love. I have covered people who don't cover me. And even with this call that I have on my life, I'm expected to cover people, to build. The same people who have a heart to break me down. But I still get up every day, despite my situation, with a smile on my face. And even with me crying right now, I'm going to end this and still have a smile on my face. Because I learned something from this. My whole page has been about lessons, life, love, and loss. Today I took a loss. I took a loss at the hands of someone that I asked for help, and they sabotaged my case. And people are like, oh, if you need help, you should just ask for it. It's amazing to me that people will watch you suffer and say you still need to ask for help. You are watching me go through these things, and you still tell me I need to ask for help. But when I asked for help, it was sabotaged. This was a hard lesson for me today. It's a hard lesson for me today. There's nothing, absolutely nothing I did to that man. Absolutely nothing that he can say I did to him. I have emails from this man saying the craziest stuff concerning just stupid stuff, trying to reel me back in. Different things he would say, just trying to reel me back in. But none of them were bad things about any negative or bad thing that I have done to this man. None of them. None of them. And even with me taking this hard lesson today, I still don't have nothing bad to say about this person. You want to know why? Because I know the God that I serve is bigger than all of this. And I know despite the outcome of all of these things, it's going to strengthen me. And I'm going to be okay. But there's nothing that I did in under 2 years to this man to still be dealing with stalking 3.5, almost 4 years later. You can't hate me that much. And I know you don't care about me that much, because if you did, you wouldn't expose my life like you have. I involved myself with someone after him. Was this person married? Yep. He told me after we had already been physically involved. The situationship or relationship that I had with that person honestly was probably the best situation I've ever had. And it sounds crazy, but it was. There was so much peace. There was so much peace. And it wasn't peace that it was just a feeling. There was so much that he did in such a small time, where I grew, I learned different things when it comes to um just how to talk or communicate with my partner if he's a male, right? There were things that he would directly like say to me, but how he would say them to me or how he would bring them to my attention, it wasn't ever a point where he brought something to my attention where he was trying to break me down. It was him genuinely telling me directly. He was telling me genuinely directly, Kashaya, do this, or Kashaya, you know, if you're angry or you're mad in a situation, like, you don't deal with it that way. How I used to deal with people in relationships was real childish. It was very childish. Because of just a lot of uh I was gonna say anger, but emotion that I used to harbor when it came to um love or my feelings, right? I've always been a person that uh has had very strong emotion, always. And I know a lot of people will try to use, especially me being a black woman, that because I have strong emotion and I'm always angry. I'm not even angry now. I'm upset, um but I'm not angry. I'm not angry at this. Why? Because this is just a moment in my life. So there's no reason for me to be angry. Do I feel away? Yes. Yesterday was the first day in a long time that I ever felt lonely. And that's crazy, because I've been alone now for a while. I've been alone, like, by myself for a while. But yesterday was the first day that I felt lonely. And it took me back because I'm surrounded by family. Like, I could literally go to my mama's house. I could go see my grandma, my cousins. Like, I'm surrounded by family. I'm surrounded by people that I know or people that I grew up with. But yesterday was the first day that I felt lonely. And I know that because I walk with God, I'm never alone. I know that for a fact. I'm never alone. That's why even when I'm by myself, I still have so much joy. I'm never alone. I know that. I don't question that. I don't doubt that. But yesterday was the first day that I felt lonely. It was the first day that I felt lonely in a long time. In a very, very long time. And it was because I was going back and reflecting through just these different things that had happened over my life. It was realizing that even though I've been carrying this situation well, I've been dealing with it for a good little bit of time. Everybody who I thought loved me has switched on me in some type of way. And not one of them has asked me if I'm genuinely okay. I had a lady tell me she loved me, but she only loved me enough to want to know my business so she could talk about it with her family. She spent the whole time that I was in her presence indirectly talking about me. Indirectly talking about me. She's known me for years. She's known me for years. Was I wrong in talking or involving myself with a man that was married? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've never denied that. But I ain't never talked about it because it wasn't y'all business. It was made y'all business because I'm being cyber stalked. And people can sit here and say, oh, you caused this mess on yourself. You can say what you want to say. There is nothing that I did to be cyber stalked like I am. There's nothing that I did. I don't care what you say. I don't care who say it. I don't care who say it. There's nothing that I did that caused this. But the thing that keeps me pushing, that keeps me being Kashaya, who I am, is God. That's why I don't walk around angry. I don't have a reason to. I don't have a reason to. People try to say, oh, you've never experienced love. You've never experienced this. You don't know what I've experienced. You don't know. And I don't tell you because you want to believe what you want to believe. So I don't waste my time trying to prove to you what you already choose to believe. If you choose to believe something about somebody else, I'm not gonna expel all this extra energy trying to prove to you something that I know is not the truth. I'm not going to do that. That's not who I am. I know my faults. I know my wrongs. I know the things that I'm good at. I know the things I can get better at. I know how I hear God. I know God speaks to me. I know that this situation or any of the situations in my past, I know none of them make me a bad person. Talking to a married man, I did a bad thing. It doesn't make me a bad person. I did a bad thing. Will I do it again? No, I learned my lesson. That's what L's to elevation is about. You learn or you take a loss, you elevate from it. You don't sit in it. These entire 3.5 years that I've been dealing with this, I have not sat in any of the things that have came from it. With my life being accessible every day, whether I want it to be or not, I haven't let that get me down. I keep pushing in spite of. With my family switching up on me, I keep pushing in spite of. None of these things have stopped me from pushing. Just like this situation is not going to stop me from pushing. I see so many people and I meet so many people every day. Some people are good people. Some people are not. Some people are insecure and they feel a way about how I carry myself. And so it makes them feel like they can say and whatever about me, not knowing nothing about me. And they do. They do. But it doesn't change how I view me, and it's not going to change how I view me. I've made some very stupid decisions. I've made decisions that made me feel good. So, selfish decisions, if that's what you want to call it. Talking to that married man was a selfish decision. It was a very selfish decision. I met him right after I had got out of a relationship with the person that started all this cyber stalking. I met him a few months or so later. And I was out with one of my homeboys. We used to go out all the time. And he had challenged me to do something or to go say hey to somebody, right? He always just look at me and say, you can go pull blah 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 blah. And I'm like, what? Like, I guess it was because maybe how he viewed me. I didn't view myself like that. And I still don't view myself like that. Like, I still don't view myself like that. But I accepted the challenge, and that's how I ended up in that situation. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know when this will stop. I don't know if it'll stop. And I say that because even in the midst of this mess of a situation, I know God is going to get the glory out of it. I know God is getting the glory out of it. But this was a crazy, crazy, crazy day for me today. To ask for help and it be sabotaged by the same person that was supposed to help you. But people look at me and I guess they assume that because I carry this situation like I'm carrying it, I don't need help. People have tried to make me like I'm not a victim because I don't carry myself like a victim. I was watching something on YouTube and a social worker was like, she basically said that it helps her to do her job when she meets or interviews people and they look like a victim. I'm not going to look like a victim. I'm not going to look like a victim. I refuse to look like a victim on the outside or the inside because some male wants to have that joy or that feeling. He wants his ego to be fluffed or puffed up because we know deep down it's small. We know it's small. I can't give him that. I can't give the world that if that's what you expected me to look like. I'm a victim just for you to accept that I am indeed a victim of cyber stalking. And if I wasn't a victim of cyber stalking, you wouldn't have access to my life the way that you do. You wouldn't. And the fact that you will overlook that because it means that you feel good about trying to make me feel bad, it's funny. It's really funny. But it is what it is. Because as I stated, I'm not going to look like a victim. I'm going to continue to live my life regardless of if you're watching me or not, regardless of how you feel about me or not, regardless of if I share enough or I don't share enough with you or not. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. This stuff has been going on for me for what seems like so long. I was starting to forget how long it had even transpired. But then to realize it's been almost 4 years, I can only imagine what women go through who have to deal with this beyond 4 years. Hopefully, they have better support than I do. Hopefully. But in my situation, it's hard to even get close to people all the time because people have already decided who I am when they meet me because of the cyber stalking. They just already know who I am. They already know how I'm going to act. They already know all of these things. I get people that come around me all the time. I've never seen so many people worried about somebody else's money, somebody else's food. It's crazy to me how people are so worried about somebody else so much. And you can't stand the person. You can't stand me. But you won't unplug from my life. You can't stand me. And you tried to break everything down about me that I'm secure in. It was funny the other day. I was talking to God, and I realized, like, in some of the warfare I've been dealing with, it was I'm assuming I've been doing okay at it because the enemy started to put stuff in my thoughts that I had already dealt with. And God was like, he's spinning the block. He got no choice now but to spin the block because I've dealt with the things already. So now he's starting over from scratch, trying to see if he can get a foot in the door, right? You got to start over from scratch. You got to spin the block. So God spin the block on purpose, and the devil spin the block for his purpose too, I guess. That's hilarious. God spin the block on purpose, and Satan and his his ugly spirits will too. But I just kind of laughed about it, right? Because why are old things trying to come up? So that's a little bit about my life, a little bit about maybe some of the things you may have heard from me, thanks to all the slander on my name because of this sick individual. And I'm Kashaya. I'm Kashaya. And I'm going to continue to be Kashaya. I'm going to continue to grow into the woman that God intends for me to be. I'm going to be okay with the things that come my way And I'm going to continue to push forward. I've never, not ever once in my life, said I was perfect. I've never, not once ever said that I was better than anybody. People have placed me on whatever pedestal they place me on because they see how I carry myself. But I've never put myself on any pedestal. I've never come across where I wasn't humble. But everybody say you're not humble. By whose standards? Yours? By your standards? Are you God for my life? By whose standards? So I'm gonna have to sit with this lesson for a little bit. I'm gonna have to sit with this lesson for a little bit. Um, but I asked for help. I asked for help, and that help sabotaged me too. So I've been dealing with um, a lot of betrayal, and I still got love in my heart. I don't hate the idiot that's stalking me. I don't hate him. I don't hate anybody. There are people I dislike, absolutely. But I don't hate them. I just wouldn't fool with them. I don't care about crying on video because I'm human. I'm a person. I'm real and true to who I am. And part of being a human is emotion. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, you should be crying on camera. Why not if you are moved to cry? Some of y'all be sounding stupid about the dumbest stuff. Why are you crying on camera? Because I feel like crying. I'm experiencing something that brings tears. That's why people cry. Duh. Unless they fake crying, then that's kind of different. But this was a hard lesson today, y'all. Yeah, I dated somebody. The relationship was good when it was good, and it sucked when it sucked. And it came to its end. And for whatever reason, that end triggered this person to stalk me. He's continually stalking me, continually hacking into my stuff, watching my life. I dated somebody that wasn't mine to date. I guess that's why maybe they feel betrayed about me not chasing them. I don't know who they thought I was to chase no man. I don't, for what? Especially when so many of them they don't even really like women. You like men. What am I gonna chase you for? Oh, today was a hard lesson, y'all. Hard lesson. A hard lesson. But I'm gonna take this lesson just like I do with all the other ones. Take it on the chin and keep rolling. But I wanted to share that with y'all today. I'm not perfect. I've never said I was perfect. Um, I do suck at asking for help. And I'm not the type of person where if I know someone is struggling and I'm able to help, that I don't help. I just don't. I don't do that. Um, but I'm gonna have to sit with it. I'm gonna have to sit with it. I guess now, after me asking for help and everything playing out how it was, and God telling me, what He did while I was sitting there in court. I guess now my main thing is to see how He wants me to grow from this. Because honestly, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm sure as time passes from this, that it will be revealed to me. And I just have to make sure that I apply it to continue to get stronger, continue to get better. And that's the goal. That's part of my elevation. So today was a hard L. Today was a hard L. But love y'all later. Hopefully you have a great day. Peace.